It is my pleasure to call to order the Board of Education Committee meeting for March 18th, 2024. At this time, Ms. Parker, can we have a roll call, please?
Chair Cobb,
Present.
Pam Pereza,
Here.
Rodney Walton,
Here.
Sharon Warden,
Present.
Dr. Sheila Williams,
Present.
Tommy Old,
Here.
and Valerie Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, Mr. Old, would you please read our ethics awareness statement?
Welcome to the March 18th, 2024 meeting of the Elizabeth City Pasadena Board of Education. It is my duty to remind members of the board that it is your responsibility to avoid all conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in accordance with Chapter 138A of North Carolina General Statutes. As public servants, it is your duty to continually monitor, evaluate, and manage your personal, financial, and professional affairs in such a way as to ensure the absence of conflicts or potential conflicts. Does any member know of any conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter coming before the board today? Let the record reflect no conflicts exist.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Old. At this time, I need a motion to approve our agenda.
I'm going to approve the agenda as printed.
Okay,
I'll
good.
second.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Pam Pereza,
Yes.
Rodney Walton,
Yes.
Sharon Warden,
Yes.
Dr. Sheila Williams,
Yes.
Tommy Old,
Yes.
and Valerie Bucks.
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to move on to our agenda items, beginning with the Financial Business and Technology Committee, and Sharon Warden, who is our chair for that committee.
Hey, and I am going to turn the meeting over to Assistant Superintendent of Finance, Candy Tillman.
Thank you, Ms. Warden. Good evening, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and other distinguished board members. Tonight, starting with FBT 01 is a report on our building rentals. That's for information only. Do you have any questions? Okay, moving on to FBT 02, our purchases over $30,000. That's for information only. Any questions?
I have one question.
Sure.
You may not know the answer to this. If you don't, it's fine. The Transfer Incorporated, where it says CTE materials,
Yes, that is career exploration, and it's through VR.
I know what it is.
Okay,
That's all I need.
and if you ESSER CTE money. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to FBT 03 fundraisers. You'll see there are two fundraisers, one at each of the high schools. Any questions regarding those? Okay. Moving on to the budget amendments. FBT 04, the first one is State Budget Amendment 107. You will see that we're increasing by approximately $188,000, and then the explanation is attached. Any questions? Okay. Federal grants, there's a decrease. Planning allotment was less, the actual allotment was less than the planning allotment. Any questions on that? All right, and then local special revenue fund, an increase of approximately $55,000. Any questions? All right, for FBT 05 surplus items, I'm going to turn that over to our Director of Maintenance, Marlene Wilkins.
Good evening, Board Chair, board members. You have a list of surplus items. Most of them are custodial equipment. We have the 4 modular units, 3 at Trigg and 1 at JC Sawyer, 1 at Weeksville. Connex box at the warehouse, which we are in process of adding a new freezer, so those boxes need to be removed. And then allotment of cafeteria equipment that is aged out and needs to be surplus. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Stevens.
For FBT 06, in regards to dual language and global programs, Dr. Parker is going to discuss that.
Thank you, Ms. Tilly, appreciate that. We've added on to the agenda tonight, which is an action for, an item for action, our detailed cost analysis of the dual language program and the global leaders program. So the board will remember that we're doing two things. We're launching the Spanish dual language program, but then the three schools that are receiving that program, Central Elementary, J.C. Sawyer Elementary, and Northside Elementary, are going to receive a specialized local coach. And so the entire building will begin to transform with a global focus so that students at all of the grade levels start to learn global content, regardless if they're in the language or not, because we really want to be intentional to make sure students that are not eligible to go to the language program will also be able to access global content. That'll probably take the shape around some global challenges and problems of practice that students will make as they work together. And then we're also piloting this Global Leaders program at River Road Middle School. Now, River Road is not getting a dual language program yet. That's just elementary. But they are a year from now going to be launching the IB program. And so what Global Leaders will do, it will help River Road start to get some professional learning for their teachers on global content, preparing them for their application for IB. And then a year from now, we'll have two IB schools. Both are at middle schools will have become IB schools. ECPPS is now as well. So what you see here on the agreement is the cost of program support from Participate. And so we will hire teachers from Participate, but they will be paid on the state salary. Candy, we will put them in an O1 or convert their position over so they'll be paid from our O1 allotments. So we won't be billed for the teachers from Participate because they'll just be teachers that we hire. What we will do with Participate is we use them for program services. They'll coach teachers. They'll come to the classrooms and monitor them. And they'll specifically help us with the global leaders. One of the benefits of this is the cost here, we're projecting to minimize the program costs through a couple of things. One is our international teachers, we do not pay retirement and Social Security, correct on that?
That varies.
Varies depending. But there's some cost savings based on that because of their international status. And we recoup that cost savings from their position. That cost savings will work to offset the cost of the contract participant. And so a couple of things I just wanted to point out about that to sort of explain some of the things that are on the program cost. Pending board's approval of this, we would issue the payment to Participate on July 1st, but we'd like to go ahead and sign an agreement so we can begin coaching. Dr. Wakeles has been working with our elementary principals to schedule some interviews for some Spanish international teachers. What we would like to do is go ahead and hire those teachers within the next couple of weeks, secure them for the schools, and then begin to work on placing them with housing. And Participate is already working to assign us a district coach that'll be from Participate that will work with us to place teachers in houses, support them, do all those kind of things. So while it's March, we want to go ahead and have all our ducks in a row for the summer. So that's one of the reasons why we're putting this on the agenda tonight. So any questions or comments or anything there?
And this locks in this price.
It does.
Okay.
So these are the participating fees.
They are.
Okay.
And there's nothing on here that's a cost for teacher because again, the teachers don't cost. You know, they're just like any other teacher. They actually save money to the district based on the things we mentioned. And this cost will be significantly offset, potentially almost net neutral. We actually may not have a cost because over the course of the year, we're likely to recoup this exact amount of money. But I don't want to say that right now because we need to know who the teachers are and how many positions we can convert and so forth. What I can tell you is this cost will be reduced in the year, if not completely. And by the way, that's the same. We have some of the same benefits with our partnership with Global Education, with the nearly 40 international teachers we have here right now. The same cost savings and partnership works with those international teachers.
Are there any questions about that before we move forward? Okay. This completes the report from the finance department, but we have several motions that we need to make. First of all, for action, I'd like to move to approve FBT-03, the fundraisers, and FBT-06, the Global Leaders and Dual Language Participate Support, which Dr. Parker just finished explaining.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Pam Preza,
Yes.
Ronnie Walters,
Yes.
Sharon Warden,
Yes.
Dr. Williams,
Yes.
Tommy Old,
Yes.
and Valerie Bones.
Yes. Okay, and I'd also like to move to place FBT 04, Budget Amendments 107, 307, and 804 on the consent agenda for the March regular board meeting.
Second.
Any discussion there? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Pam Preza,
Yes.
Ronnie Walters,
Yes.
Sharon Warden,
Yes.
Dr. Williams, Tommy Old,
Yes.
and Valerie Bones.
Yes. And I'd like to move to place FBT 05, surplus items on the consent agenda for the March regular board meeting.
Second, once again.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Pam Preza,
Yes.
Ronnie Walters,
Yes.
Sharon Warden,
Yes.
Dr. Williams,
Yes.
Tommy Old,
Yes.
and Valerie Bones.
Yes. And as I said, that completes our report, and I want to thank Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Ms. Cohen. Next, we'll move on to Ms. Walton, the chair of the policy committee.
Well, if you might, I'll turn it right back over to you, Chair Cobb, for the legislative committee update.
Okay? So this evening, we have a bit of more business to attend to. The North Carolina School Board Association Board of Directors invites each local school board to nominate one of its members to serve on the NCSBA Legislative Committee. The individual must be nominated through a vote of the full board taken in open session and submitted by March the 22nd, 2024. The primary task for this committee is to draft the NCSBA legislative agenda for consideration and adoption by the delegate assembly. So basically tonight, in order for us to meet that deadline, we need to nominate one of our members to serve on this legislative committee. So what I would like to do is open the floor now for nominations.
I nominate you.
I'm going to decline that nomination. So since you did that already, I would like to nominate Sharon Warden. Sharon, are you willing to accept that? Okay. So Sharon Warden has been nominated and has accepted the nomination. And so now, Ms. Parker, we need to do a roll call vote, please.
Pam Preza,
Yes.
Dr. Sheila Williams.
Yes.
Excuse me. Tommy Old,
Yes.
Valerie Bones,
Yes.
Rodney Walton,
Yes.
and Sharon Warden.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let the record show that Sharon Warden will be our representative, and Ms. Warden, you and I will get together afterwards so that we can take care of getting you registered. And that's all we have for
Thank you very much, Chair Cobb. And I'll turn the meeting back over to you again.
All right. At this time, Dr. Williams, will you take us into closed session, please?
A motion for the board to go into closed session is allowed by NC General Statute 143-11A6 for the purpose of considering one or more personnel matters that are confidential under NC General Statute 115C-320 and is allowed by NC Statute 143-318-11E3 to consult with the board attorney regarding matters protected by the attorney-client privilege and to preserve.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Williams. Can we get a second on her motion?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bowes. Roll call vote, please, Ms. Parker.
Pam Preza,
Yes.
Rodney Walton,
Yes.
Sharon Warden,
Yes.
Dr. Williams,
Yes.
Tommy Old,
Yes.
and Valerie Bones.
Okay, thank you for your attendance tonight. That ends our open session.